Hope everybody's doing well. It's finally here. I know everybody's excited to get back to some football. I've never been so excited to watch Portland State in all my life this past weekend. To see some college football on TV and some high school football, so it was great. Just a lot of fun, and just really enjoy this time of year. Game week is just nothing better, and just excited to kick it off and see us play and see what the identity of this team is going to be and how it's going to shape up as we go through the course of the season. I think it's going to be fun. This has been a fun team to be around since last spring, and I know for a lot of people they start thinking about football right now, but we've been working on this season and this team and this journey since last January. So this is just kind of the next part of our journey. It's what we call prime time. But the first two phases that we went through were critical, and this has been a really fun team to be around every single day. They've worked really hard since January, and they've improved all year. I have seen improvement from one phase to the next, and I expect that to continue as we get into the course of the season. I think this will be a team that'll continue to improve just like we have all year long. It's been a long camp, but very productive. I really am proud of how the guys worked. I think we got a lot accomplished, and we're as ready to play as you can possibly be for an opener. There's just you can only bring them so far, and then you gotta go play, and then that's kind of the next step of the process of getting a team, prepared for the course of the season and figuring some things out. Because at the end of the day, you got to play the game. You can't just practice. You got to go play. And so this is our first opportunity to really go do that. And so I think it's just a big step for us as we get going. But I think we're healthy. Jurgen is the one guy, obviously, that's out for the year. Really big loss for us. Y'all are well aware of that. And then Garrett Williams will definitely be out this week, but he's really making great progress. So, I think he'll be back sooner than later. So we're excited about where he is in his rehab, but definitely will be out this week. And then, probably right now, Denzel's probably doubtful for this week. I think he'll definitely be ready to go next week. He had a pec injury, so he's been out in the last week or so. So he's the only other guy that right now I would say is doubtful for this game. But who knows? We'll check back. I'll know a little bit more on Thursday and kind of see where he is from a progress standpoint. But right now, that's I'd call him doubtful for sure. But again, turning the page to Kent State and getting back going here with an opponent. First off, I just thoughts and prayers are with Coach Haynes. I don't know what's going on or what he's dealing with, but obviously it's to miss a ball game. It's significant. So thoughts and prayers with him, and I know that the team will be, this will be a highly motivated team to come and play at Clemson and to represent their coach and put their best foot forward. When you look at this team, offensively they had some injuries last year, especially at quarterback, but they ended up moving a receiver in there, and he's as tough a kid as you're going to see. Really, really tough football player. Really made a difference for him and played well down the stretch, but he's a guy that they're going to put the ball in his hands, a lot of zone read principles, a lot of empty packages, a lot of jet sweeps and motions. They want to get the ball on the perimeter, so we got to do a great job of setting the edge because they got some speed. The receivers can run. The running back is a very impressive player. He's got first play from line of scrimmage against Alabama. He took it about 50 yards plus, and once he got through the line of scrimmage, he was able to pull away. So that he led them in rushing last year, but also led them in reception. So very dynamic guy in the backfield. They do a good job, and they go empty a lot, so he catches a lot of passes. And again, led them in receptions last year. They do have a junior college transfer in there at wideout. Don't know a whole lot about him, so obviously we'll see him for the first time. But again, a lot of option principles based on how they run the offense with the zone read built into it. So big challenge for us to just play with great discipline and openers. You've got to know your system, and you got to be able to apply it to what you see on game day, because it's not like you've had 3 or 4 tapes to study of this year's team and see the identity of who they are and really study their personnel, because there's a lot of changes. So I think it's critical for us to really have ownership of what we do and to be able to apply it to what we see. And so we give them, we present a million things in practice, and I think our guys are prepared to go play, and then we got to make adjustments. Openers are always a game of adjustments. That first quarter, early into the second quarter, you start to see, a personality and an identity come forward. Okay, this is what they're going to be on third down. All right, this is their plan, and then you make the adjustments and go from there. But I think defensively, we're well prepared for what we need to do. And then looking at their defense, this is one of the better secondaries we'll play all year, to be quite honest with you. They've got a bunch of guys in the secondary. They got a couple of them going to probably play on Sunday. Really, really confident, and they play to their strengths. A lot of man coverage. I expect them to pressure us a ton, especially with a new quarterback. I expect to see a ton of pressure to kind of check the oil at Clemson and see if we can handle it. So I think that'll be a big part of their plan, and that's the strength. Their strength is in the secondary. They've got a bunch of guys that can play. A lot of man coverage, a lot of press man coverage, all the cover one principles and variations that you can see. They'll get into some four-man type of stuff as well, but very active. They're going to probably move around on us a lot, in and out of some different fronts, and just challenge us to be able to identify and communicate and make sure we're all on the same page. So, this is a team, again, that'll come in here with some new faces. If you look at them, they're big and thick inside. Not quite as big at the end, but inside, you look at number 90, number 98, these are big bodies that can move. So they've got some guys that can play, that jump out at you on tape when you watch them. And then, special teams, we're anticipating a lefty being the punter, so that's always a little different. I'm thankful that we've had Christian Grooms here. He's on our team. He's a left-footed kicker, but also can punt, so we've been able to get plenty of work there if that's what they end up doing. So, but at the end of the day, again, it's an opener. It's for us every week. It's about Clemson. It's about how we prepare, and then how we go execute, and the type of effort and discipline that we display on game day. And that's what I'm anxious to see, is see how they respond, because I know there's going to be some unknowns. That's just the way it is in openers. But hopefully we'll respond in a positive way and be ready. But they're all big. Y'all hear me say it all the time. We get 12 opportunities. That's all. We're guaranteed. Everything after that, you earn it. And this is just one of 12. And we're going to put everything we got into trying to get off to a good start and achieve our first goal. I mean, we got 5 goals. They never change. That's our goals. And as many of them as we can hit, the better the year we have. But we've had years around here where we've hit 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, and I've always said if we hit them all, we're going to win it all. And that's what we did last year. So this is opportunity to get that first goal under our belt and win the opener and create some good momentum in our season.